actually camouflages your sense of inner voice, and fourth thing that you could be doing to actually enhance it and amplify it. The fourth thing that actually camouflages our inner voice, I would have spoken about it in detail, but I'm sure if you can Google it later on. Go on YouTube and look at what is called as ventriloquism. Ventriloquism is when you have somebody speaking and their mouth doesn't move and the sound seems to come from somewhere else. Just go and Google it on YouTube and somewhere, and you will know what I'm talking about, ventriloquism. But that's what sometimes happens in our heads. What we think is our voice is actually not our voice, but it is something else that's actually prompting us to do certain things. So the first thing that kind of obscures your deep inner voice is your mind, which is internally present with you. Your mind tends to magnify your problems. How many times? How many times have you kind of? Oh, Krisha is asking me to spell it out for the audience. Ventriloquism is VENTRI, ventrilo LOQUISM. Ventriloquism. Google will help you. Don't worry. Just write ventro and you will have the word filled up for you. Uh, but what happens is the mind, what it does, it magnifies your problem. It puts the magnifying glass on the little thing and starts making it appear very big. Whether it was a job interview, whether it was an assignment completion, whether it was an admission in a college, whether it was some academics or assignment or this or that or relationship, wherever, whatever you want to talk about, mind has this amazing capacity to magnify the problem. How does it do it? What does the mind does to you is it will think of the past regrets and will wonder about the future worries and bring both these past regrets and the future worries in the present moment and overwhelm you, right? Something didn't work well last year and you're still thinking about it, and then you're worrying about the future that's going to happen, whether I'll get a job or not, or this or that. You just keep building on all the possible things that could possibly go wrong in the worst possible scenario, and you bring all of that stuff in your present and you just get overwhelmed. It's called paralysis by analysis also, right? So we actually magnify our problems. When we tend to start magnifying our problem, we get more fixated on the problem than on our own inner conscience, right? The second thing that the mind does with us is it imagines pleasure. It tends to take you to those, kind of, I'm sure that all of us in our college days or in our school days have done daydreaming. Teacher is teaching something and you're out the screen, out of the window, thinking about all kind of novel things, whether Bollywood, Hollywood, or no matter what, right? We tend to actually imagine pleasure. And what does it do to us? We always imagine pleasure in the future. Most of the time, this is very startling, but 47% of the time, your mind is not thinking of the task at hand. Your mind is not present in the moment. 47% of the time, your mind is dealing with the non-present. We start imagining problems. We start imagining pleasure. We start magnifying problems. And what does it do? It makes you disconnected with your inner self. It makes you disconnected with your present. It makes you less and less self-aware. It imagines pleasure. The third thing that the mind does is it neglects opportunities. When you are too much concerned about the past, you're regretting about the past or worrying about the future, you start neglecting your present. A student may not have fared well in their mid-sem exams, continues to think about how I fared so poor, get worried about the final semester exams that's coming up, and in the whole process messes up that 1 hour when he was actually supposed to be studying and performing his academics. Neglects opportunities, neglects time, wastes time, and all those things, right? Like Krisha was explaining about, time management and, time tracker. These are such consciously built tools that actually help you get grips with your mind and say, hey, we are getting startled, we are going off beat. It neglects opportunities. The fourth thing that the mind does is it denies responsibility. If something goes wrong, and it happens so many times, people have this different locus of control, we call it in psychology. We have the internal locus of control and external locus of control. There are some of you out there who think that everything is you are responsible for. The inner conversation, the inner events, the kind of hard work you bring on the table is what is responsible for what you do and what you achieve in your life. And there are some people who understand that it is external in nature, or external factors is what is responsible for my success or failure. So many times what happens is we carry both these kind of locus of controls. So when we are successful, we don't miss a beat and we give ourselves all the credit. Oh, it was because of my hard work. It because of my knack. It was because of this. It was because of that. I cracked it. And whenever things don't go our way, we say, oh, exam was hard. The teacher was not good. The curriculum was difficult. The preparation time was not sufficient, blah, 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 blah. We try to hold someone else responsible for what we're going through. But please remember, my dear friends, no matter where we are in life, unless we take responsibility of where we are, we cannot improve our situations. You cannot solve a problem whose existence you deny. That's very, very crucial. We need to take responsibility of where I am, but be like reassuring to yourself that I don't have to be where I am. Sometimes people get so overwhelmed with failures, right? People get overwhelmed with failures. Oh my God, everything has dropped down, everything has crashed to the ground. Now nothing is, possible in the way I've always wanted, envisioned my life. But believe me, failures only show you where you are and not where you have to be. Please, Roger that. Failures just show you where you are and not where you have to be. It's a journey that we actually keep moving on, and failures remain a failure unless we actually learn something from it and don't repeat it. As somebody said, it's not a problem to commit a mistake every time, but make sure it's a new one every time. That means we're actually growing, we're actually developing, we're actually refining ourselves. So we tend to deny responsibility. So we magnify problems, we imagine pleasure, we neglect opportunity, and we deny responsibility. MIND, acronym is MIND. Magnifies problems, imagine pleasure, neglects opportunity, denies responsibility. And when this happens,